So imagine if you got on a bus and you looked around and everyone on the bus had a dog face instead of a human face. Well, that's what happened to this poor 62-year-old woman who we're going to call Rhonda. Rhonda stepped on the bus one day and she saw a passenger carrying a little poodle. And so she looked up at that passenger's face and it was a poodle face. And she was horrified. So she looks around her at the other passengers to see if any of them have noticed this guy's poodle face, and they all also have poodle faces. So now this poor woman is stranded in the land of poodle face people, and she flees, she gets off the bus, and unfortunately every human being she saw for the next 30 minutes had a poodle face. And so this is another example of what I talked about yesterday, which is called prosopagnosia, PMO. But her version is really weird. More often, people with PMO see faces as distorted and sort of demonic, like our guy did yesterday. There's even a rarer version of PMO that's called hemi-pmo. And what happens is people see half of faces as distorted and the other half as normal. One guy who had it, who was an artist, drew what he saw. And he said, when I was, quote, "When I was talking to a nurse standing at the end of my bed, her right eye became extraordinarily staring and fierce. The iris was an unnatural cobalt blue and the white part very brilliant." Another picture he drew was of a doctor's face, and he said the eye became a ghastly staring hole, cheekbone, a cavity. He had teeth on the upper lip. Often he had 2 ears. This guy had a brain injury to his left hemisphere that was causing him to see the right side of people's faces, of other people's faces, as swelling or melting or otherwise distorted. What Brad said to me is that what he thinks is that your brain does something super weird when it comes to processing faces. It cuts out every face you see, splits it in half, and it sends each half of that face to the opposite hemisphere for processing. And then it brings those 2 halves back together on your right hemisphere. So this seems like a really strange and convoluted way to do things, I said, and Brad said, quote, "Brains are weird."